Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what you're shooting for there, but okay.
He just seems to want to talk. That's all.
Yeah.
He's kind of like...
Well, he's not gloating. It's like, you don't gloat about things you didn't have.
Yeah, right. He's more like... it's like if you were, I don't know, on like a... If you went to like, the Botanic Gardens or something with a botanist, you would just talk endlessly about flower shit that you did not understand or care about. But that's just, it's his interest. Zombies are this guy's interest.
He's a power gamer. He's like, if only I built them better.
Yeah, he's noting the, the inherent flaws in this particular breed of zombie and how, they're unsuited to stand against the, your armored, irregular soldiers. However, of course, they did take enough down. It's through numbers that they are effective, but even that it's not efficient. It's not an efficient way to build your undead army.
Again, even then, it's like, well, this is the best that you could do, because this is what you did. So.
And that his feathers will ruffle, because he says, You malign me, sir. These were, they were raised to till the fields. There was... Of course, they are all dangerous in their own way, but this is not.
This is what you spent your time on. This is what you spent your time on undead to till the fields, and you're gonna go on to me about how my army would have been great enough, and it's like, well, why were you raising an undead army and an army to till the fields? Because your undead army wouldn't have needed food. So this is what you spent your time on. This is what you could do. This is what you did, and this is where you failed. So even at your best, you were kind of shit.
He seems offended. He says, well, I hope for your sake that you never see my best. If it wasn't for your intervention, the world would have seen what Marcade
in
was
fairness,
capable
what
of.
we're going to probably see next is your head on a chopping block in Triskellion, so I guess get ready for that.
Yes, we will see, won't we?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Doesn't seem concerned.
Cool.
Okay. The night passes. There are still more zombies in the fields. You know this to be true as they come to town over the course of the night, although they arrive in drips and drabs, no more than 2 at a time. And for the sake of expedience, I'm going to say that you are capable of handling them at a distance.
Just lightning bolts all night long.
Yeah, lightning bolts all night long. Lightning bolts and bows.
That Dalek I-beam sound effect.
Just smell the ozone of the light.
Even so, the night seems endless. The work is hard and sad and dirty. And it seems forever before the first silver light of dawn breaks over the endless sprawling fields surrounding Bloomshire. We'll say that there's enough time for anyone who is not helping in the burial effort to get a respite in, so long as they're in the mayor's house and there's other people awake. And then in the distance, you can see taking, actually it wouldn't be the same path, but the western path from the village, you can see it looks to be a carriage drawn by pack animals and accompanied by several canine guards on foot. They're still a ways out, but in like 10 to 15 minutes they will make it to the village, provided they don't get eaten alive by zombies on their way over.
Right. It is at least 9 a.m., right?
It's morning time.
Okay. Hey, Sir Connor, you are injured. Congratulations, you'll be a healing target.
Sweet. Let's get rid of sick first. Right?
Well, we'll see if it works. You get to roll your will. You need to beat a 4.
And even though my piety is different than penitence, I'm an Evasian. I guess
He's an Orcamene. You need piety with Orcamencing.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
If you want to convert, now's the time.
Oops.
I see you haven't been reading the brochures anymore.
That's 2 successes. What, is that enough to remove injured?
That is enough to remove injured.
But
just
not enough to
sick.
remove sick. You really need to convert to orcomancy.
Can one of you roll your personality?
I could.
I can't because I already spent it previously.
You can roll your brazen personality and stand up and say, no, I have to fight against evil in all of its forms.
66% chance.
There we
There you
go.
go.
So no more sickness?
Congratulations, you are not sick.
You are too obnoxious to be sick.
In that case, Connor will help with the efforts of cleaning up. And then when those people show up, they're probably from Triskellion, so he's going to find a place to stash himself so that he's not recognized.
I think it's funny because, in fairness, it's 8 a.m. that the doctor makes his prayer to refresh healing, right?
Yeah, like 9 a.m.
Yeah, so it means you start helping at the tail end of the job.
Now that everything's cleaned up, I'm finally ready.
Well, he stood against 5 all by himself. I think no one doubts Connor's resolve.
Or
But I
insanity.
suppose this... But Gar, I believe this is your carriage to greet to your fine city.
It's on my city. I mean, I'm waiting here for them to get here. See, you gotta understand the noble mindset is that they have to come to me. I don't have to go to them.
I mean, this is just me prompting the narrative of they arrive in town and you're there. You're the one who is greeting them and going to be doing the scene. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Here. Okay. I'm bringing some people down here by the Western Road, right?
They're all wearing black cloaks.
Yeah, I know. No, I will describe them now. He said, and then did not describe them. Just pulling up my notes. Okay. There are 6 Triskellion guard. I'll remind you that guard are canines dressed in beautiful, very expensive-looking plate mail. All of them hefting half spears. The carriage that arrives is also beautifully decked out in the regalia of the Rinaldi Jakoba garb colors. Accompanying these 6 guard on foot, there is a small female squirrel who is wearing the white robes of the Church of Salumer. And as the carriage pulls to a stop, the door opens, and a man, a cheetah, a male cheetah, also wearing white robes, holy robes, bearing the insignia of the Inquisitors, steps out and surveys the scene, sniffing at the acrid stench of death and of charred flesh from the bonfire. He seems very displeased, but not ultimately that horrified at the state of affairs here in the town. And he tells his men to spread out and search for survivors.
I suppose being outside tending to these things, I'd probably see it, wave them down and go, hello! Mayor's house right over here.
Ah, I see. And he will lazily flick his wrist, indicating that everyone should travel to the make their way to the mayor's house. So in front of the mayor's house, they will stop. The squirrel will say, will herald him. She will say, might I introduce the Inquisitor for the Church of the Light, Eutalio de Cristofaro, which I will paste in the chat. Holy Inquisitor for the crowd. Where's the chat? Here we go. Boom. We'll move them up here. Okay. And we'll pull some guards out as well. Got 6 of them.
Just in the unlikely event that we all decide to go rogue.
They step forward and go, aha, you are the ones who are alive, so you must be responsible for all of this. You are under arrest.
And thus, how you ruined Red's plans in one sentence.
I'm just
Oh, no.
I'm just
Oh, no.
simulating
What-
here, man.
That was just my guess of, like, if this character was a jerk and wanted to ruin things himself. If I wanted to ruin everything, so I'd go, well, actually, I have several problems with the religion of penitence. Let me list them to you now.
Yeah, we'll do this. Yeah,
There you go.
so
Perfect.
and we'll give him a little bit of room. We also have to have his little henchman. Because, you know. At the arrival, you can see for the first time all night that some of the villagers have begun to peek their heads out of their doors and have begun to congregate in loose groups around the this clearing in front of the mayor's house. Their curiosity for what will become of their village has sort of overcome their fear of the zombies attacking again. So yes, Utalio says, we received missives from one Sir Gar. Would that be you? And of course he's addressing Gar.
That is I. I am Adris Gar of House Gar. I sent the missive telling you about the situation here. Although it seems most of it has already seemed to be cleared up, I'm sure there are possibly hundreds more undead roaming the fields around here, as they were trying to use them as some sort of, well, abominations. They're abominations. There's no reason to explain what they're up to. It turns out that the Baron of the area was in on it, responsible for everything. We've taken him captive in order to bring him back to Triskellion so that he might meet high justice.
I see. Well then, produce this Baron, who you accuse of conducting dark arts. Jacques.
Yeah, I mean, I'll call into the house and, he'll be escorted out by a number of people.
Right, oh right. Marcade leaves the house with his head held high. His wings bound, however. The Inquisitor says, you are the Baron Marcade, and he says, yes, that I am. I was unlawfully taken captive by these miscreants, and I demand that justice be served.
You are captured by one of your peers.
Peers? I am Baron. From whence do you hail, sir?
As I said, I am Sir Adris Gar of House Gar of the Isle of Avric. Not some petty ash waste at the edges of Triskellion.
You can see that Marcade is easily flustered, and his tell is that his neck feathers will ruffle. He says, regardless, I am of noble blood and do not deserve to be treated in such way. I should have these bonds removed post-haste.
I will escort you personally, Triskellion, so that you may see High Court. Until then, I'm not going to risk you doing some sort of black magic as you've done so far. Having personally borne witness to this, I'll gesture to him and then look back at the Holy Inquisitor. Having borne personal witness, I suggest it is not reasonable an expectation to release them at this time.
Utalio has this very sort of bored affectation around him, and he's looking between the two of you, kind of sniping back at one another. He says, "Well, the charges that have been brought against you, Baron, are quite severe. Are there any evidence? Is there any evidence to these? I see signs of struggle, peasant uprising. Nothing here immediately strikes me as being unholy in nature."
One moment. Has anyone seen the saint?
Over here, actually, says the doctor from like 10 feet away. right here. I'll just like
Colette will
amble up
join
to
you.
the fence. I'll like produce like the package of like evidence that I have and like filter through. It's like, yes, the letter from the Baron to the mayor about this whole thing and the arrangement that they have set up. Here you go.
He glances over it, kind of like down his nose at it.
And here's several other samples of handwriting we had from before, and here's one that had a signature on it from the founding of this town. And, what else is here? No, that's his dark magic book. We don't need to go over that one, necessarily. And the dark magic sword of which he had in his, hold, which bears the mark of a dark conspiracy of blacksmiths.
At this, he cocks an eyebrow slightly, but as you're handing over this evidence one at a time, he's glancing it over, and then basically, like, tossing it at the squirrel woman, who is slowly being crushed under the increasing pile of evidence that you are producing, right?
It feels so nice to just have that evidence off my shoulders.
Finally, the sword seems to be the last straw. He doesn't actually even, like, touch it or take it from you.
It's in his aura. If he has any supernatural, he just looks at it and goes, "Oh."
Exactly. Yeah. It is undeniable to any with any dice in supernatural that this sword has some sort of infernal origin. There's negative energy radiating from it. And he does not touch it.
That back up real quick.
Okay. Yes, at this point also it seems that the squirrel is unable to carry much more. As she glances to you and to her master back and forth with just a look of fear on her face. The sword is probably like taller than she is, and she does not think that she could lift it. All right. He nods. He says, "Well, all of this evidence must be verified. It does appear that there is a certain narrative here of unholy activity. However, until it can be appropriately cleared, I'm afraid I cannot do what you ask, this marcade. I would charge you with failure to keep the peasants under your charge safe from one another. However, it remains to be seen if you are indeed in league with the forces of darkness." At this, several of his guards are going to... you can see their jaws drop slightly. Despite the fact that you guys have produced basically a library of evidence, the fact that Marcade himself is dressed in the black robes of a necromancer, and the fact that on their way they probably saw glimpses of the zombie scarecrows like meandering aimlessly through the fields. They're now hearing that the verdict from this individual, from their inquisitor, is that it is unclear whether or not unholy magics are taking place here.
Well, the thing is that, as far as what I'm understanding is going on here, is that the inquisitor can only render, clerical judgment, not high law, which is what this man is responsible to answering to anyway.
Right, and here in this scenario, I would say you would tap nobility and go, "No, I am part of the nobility. I say that this guy needs to be charged," and then he counter taps to cancel.
Well, no.
And then you ask,
I'm charging him already. He is making determinations. Well, as far as, again, I can tell, unless Red corrects me, on clerical matters, which is still something he can be charged with. So if he's saying, I don't find him guilty to clerical judgment, fine, I don't care. I'll take him to high court.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
basically, you're a nobility. You're secular, so you could charge him with necromancy, abuse of property, and we'll arrest you. So it's yeah. I mean, you can make the charge.
Right, yeah, and I can't argue him on secular matters. I mean, on non-secular
Exactly.
matters. I can't argue his. I don't find him clerically not guilty or guilty. That's
Right.
beyond me. I can take him
No,
to high court,
that's
where then I would
correct.
tap nobility and such.
That's when we grab Colette. Colette, you're ordained, right?
Indeed, yes.
That means you can charge. I have to calm myself down because Anushka would be nicer than me. You can charge him on clerical crimes. You can both submit the affidavit.
Okay.
This is very true.
Right.
And they might at least hold him. Because, I mean, they would look at us and say, is this true? And then look at this town, the burned pile of bodies, the obviously cursed sword, the tower of throbbing evil, the random zombies still wandering around the fields, and go, yeah, I think there's some weight to their story.
Yeah.
But of course, he's not going to admit any of it. But, take him away in chains and deal with it. I'm
Right.
sure there's a long line of hungry nobles, of which Gar is in front, that would love to seize this property.
I don't want the property. Remember, my entire point is to unincorporate it completely.
Well, the property can't go nowhere. Someone has to own it.
Right. I would imagine it's the next in line of whoever's behind this baron.
In other words, you'd be
Mhm.
first in line. You're saying, I don't want it. Whoever's behind you.
Right. But like you said, my priority here is more take out this baron from the noble line.
Yeah, so
And-
it's not so much that you're unincorporating the property as you're disenfranchising him.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm also saying that this town has no merit to exist.
Right. It's
Mostly in that it's in an
unlikely-
ash field where they're already having difficulty growing food. That maybe if we're going
They
to
had to-
form a town, form it somewhere else.
Well, now that we've fertilized it with blood.
Mm,
No, right, but I mean, I'm sure there's someone who's power hungry enough that would love shitty land. So,
Well, again, with our goal that's written on our sheets is also unincorporate the town. So
yeah, I mean, it's also, it's unlikely in Rinaldi law that they would break it up and parcel it out to different people. They're much more of a primogeniture, winner takes all type thing.
Hmm.
So, we'll
If
see.
all else fails, it returns to the king, probably.
Right, who then appoints a lord to put in charge of it. What will probably happen is the king will seize it and then charge a vassal with it.
well,
Yeah,
here's the thing: is my intent is to see this through.
Right. The other problem is that the clerics might try, the church might attempt to seize it because, hey, land, and put someone in charge of it. But that's, church versus state and not something I'm involved with.
So I guess, Coled, you are ordained. Are you going to put your voice into this? You've seen as much as the rest of us.
She seems a little bit bashful. She's technically been defrocked. That the right word? I mean,
She
she's no
doesn't have
longer
an
a
official
best.
position
Wait, we're-
in control of something, but she still is ordained.
She's ordained,
no,
but she
no,
stepped
wait,
down from her official position.
Yeah. Have you abdicated? Are you no longer ordained?
I believe so. She abdicated when she went on her first journey, and when she came back, she was tried as a spy.
That's true.
And even though she was found innocent, I don't think she was. I don't think she
They still
long.
struck her position down.
Yeah, I don't think they gave her any kind of position back within the
I mean,
church.
they didn't restore. I mean, when they arrested her, they removed her ordainment, and then after the
Yeah.
trial, they didn't give it back. So that's kind of
Yeah.
a bummer. That's winning. That's the Pyrrhic victory. All right, and the doctor doesn't have any ordainment because we don't know what his damn name is.
Yep.
And again,
Yeah.
though, I don't care if they find him guilty under clerical law. My intent is to carry him back to Triskellion to,
Right,
to
so-
face Holy Court, High Court.
Almost certainly, what's going to happen is the king is going to seize his property. Since the king is Vaslov Jakoba, who knows what's going to happen to it?
Right. So
Mhm.
we have this guy here, this Inquisitor. He says that he's not sure. What is the next step here? I assume it would be Gar says, "Well, I am taking it back in chains." And what does the Inquisitor do?
Right. The Inquisitor does not actually have any recourse to prevent you from doing that. He says though that he will lend his caravan to escort you back to Triskellion. He needs to report his findings anyway, but only on the condition that we treat this Baron as is due his station, right? So he cannot go back in chains, bound like a slave.
Not visibly, anyway. Were we to cover him, nobody would know that he was a Baron. Thus, keeping his reputation intact completely.
Oh, wow. I mean, from a nobility perspective, that is still highly offensive, but there is a certain weird logic to it. But I think Utulio is not the kind of guy to see that argument. But again, I don't know if he really can stop you. I don't think this is an argument that is worth throwing down over. So he'll just say, remember that during the trial of the Baron, my professional testimony will carry much, and your behavior in this account will also carry weight. I cannot stop you, however, currently I do not think that you have the right of this matter.
It's fine. I have heard your judgment, and I accept your escort. On all other matters, I will defer to my own judgment.
Very well, then. He seems displeased. In the meantime... Well, now here's another question. It's not like these villagers need a babysitter. They're obviously running the town fine themselves, but in this situation where the ownership of the land is in question, would this guy leave someone or appoint someone, in absence of a proper mayor?
I'm confused. These people are all under arrest as well.
Yeah, no, he would arrest. No, I think what he would do is he would arrest all the locals because, necromancy. Arrest all locals. Then he would go and find whoever sucks up to him the most or who he wants to curry favor with, and say, by the authority invested in me, you're in charge of this town. Get there now, or I'll give it to someone else. And every unlanded... This is the Rinaldi. All the unlanded poor nobles who have nothing better to do than rack up debts to the merchant class in Triskellion are going to go, crap, land grab, and we got everybody packed up. We're going to this place. It says here everyone was arrested for necromancy? Whatever. Everyone pack up. We're going. Right, and then they would get there and go, what the hell is this? And then, we could find people to put here. There's plenty of people that would want to.
Right. Okay, so cool. That's all down the road, though.
It's also a question of whether, I'm asking, Vaslov might say, so it's a place of ultimate necromancy, and I happen to know necromancy, and I'm the king. But that's, once again, he might do that, he might not. This is a whole cock-up cascade that's gonna, just screw everything up, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, so that's also a little bit down the road, a little bit political. I'm more concerned right now with the here and now. Arresting all of these peasants is something that you guys have the manpower for.
Vega wiped a whole village off the map unless.
That's true. The question...
And they were fighting back. These people can't.
Well, there was a little over 100 of these people. A bunch of them just died in a zombie attack.
Yeah, I mean, the Inquisitor has the signed statement of two nobles, because we got both Connor and Gary.
Connor, remember, not a big fan of just getting right now. Probably isn't signing his shit.
He has the signed witness account of one noble, two random priests, because Colette could at least write down what they saw.
The stack of literal physical evidence that the Baron himself wrote.
A bunch of eyewitnesses, which is both of, all of our entourages. We'd all swear we saw this. Mm-hmm. And, plus also any witnesses to come here and see the necromancy. So they would take all of that. I mean, also, this is the Middle Ages. People forget might equals right. It's you're all under arrest. We don't want to come. Shh. We brought swords. You're coming.
Exactly. I'm thinking about in terms of there's still more villagers here than there are armed men. Is this the right place for a peasant uprising? but I ultimately, and the only thing that would have tipped the balance is that getting all the villagers out of this village means walking through the fields. So in addition of being afraid of their own fates, they might just be panicked by the prospect of being attacked.
Right. My main thing here is that you've portrayed them as old, unwilling to work, or just venal and lazy. Are they really going to put in the effort?
And I imagine, like, if this was one of your Loki or Shield miniseries, like some of them get their comeuppance as they're killed in the fields by the undead. Some of them commit suicide because they would rather die than get what's coming to them. Some of them would still be in denial even when the things come in. Some of them might hole up and evade detection by running off into the woods.
Right. The key thing here would be, is there anyone amongst them who is at all in any way a leader to rally them all to said cause? And the answer looks like probably not.
When they come back, when they arrest the ones they can and come back later with the homesteaders, there might be a big homestead fight. But that is a problem for the future, people. As I am Anushka, I know no fear, and I serve with joy. I did both of those things today.
That's right. And we're wrapping up now because it's time to go. So we can revisit these questions later. But I think it seems clear what is going to happen next, at least for the party. But okay, cool. So let's continue. Anushka knew no fear, served with joy. What did Connor do?
Connor kicked a lot of zombie ass.
Yes, he did.
And he helped Anushka when she came by, even though she couldn't leave.
Helped me when I came by. I came there to rescue
to save you.
I know you did, but then
you helped me.
But still, wait. One hand washes the other. It doesn't specify whose hands, right? Like Anushka helping him.
Even if they
could also apply.
So, Sir Connor, I applaud your bravery.
He could have fled and left Anushka there as well. Didn't. Okay. And the doctor?
The doctor, first do no harm, second get paid. And honestly, I think getting rid of this evil magical sword could probably count as getting paid. I've reduced my debt. I don't gotta worry about it.
Nice. Okay. I like it. And last but not least, we got Theta and Adrisgar.
Strength and guile.
Okay. All right. So, unincorporate the town. I think. Oh, I don't think we did a goal. I was trying to think if there was any kind of goal. I feel
still the goal I had was unincorporate the town. So
did we do that?
Still holding on to that?
Most of them are going to be walking away in chains. I don't think the town recovers.
That's fine. Yeah, the only
I would give a petty reward for that, like local knowledge of Moonshire, which everyone's going to sell back for 5 experience points.
Yeah, local knowledge, Bloomshire, probably.
Unless you thought somebody exhibited a strange amount of bravery. Because the other gift to give us would be Unshakable, which is, or give that at least to Gar, which is immunity to overkill fear, and that's all.
Oh, that's lovely.
Damn, that's a little bit OP in my opinion.
I would only offer that to Gar.
Only to Gar?
I would suggest the rest of us. I mean, here I am, because let's make everyone miserable. Everyone should get local Moonshire because we're except for Gar, who should get Unshakable.
Here's the thing: it doesn't matter. I would sell Unshakable back
you
as well.
You would still sell it back for 5.
You would?
Well, yeah, because I don't think it fits Gar's personality. I think Gar is a big old scaredy cat. I don't think he'd be Unshakable. I think, oh my god, that guy just fucking died.
I think there would be a fleeting moment where he would say to himself while he's trapped in there, should I die with all of these craven people? And then after a moment of self-reflection, yeah, I'm pretty much that craven.
At least I've got people between me and the zombies right now.
Right, so I have a feeling, I think we're all going to take 5 experience points, so don't hand it all over. We're all going to sell it back.
So you think the guy who's surrounded by 3 layers of people, and the inner layer is his 2 bodyguards, isn't that guy?
By the way, that was awesome because I thought, like, wow, that was a genuine scary thing. And here I am going, all right, wizard, you just blow the crap out of everyone while I go save Connor, who's outnumbered 5-1. And then,
Yeah.
God, we lost 2 more people.
I was thinking to myself, like, that might be tactically unsound because it means, Anushka, you're going to be in terrible danger.
I would have felt so bad if Colette got dragged off and eaten because she was that close to getting
It was a close
dragged off
thing.
and eaten.
Inches away. She could have
That
just been
was-
injured and that would have been
Well, I
terrible.
want to say in the debriefing that was fun because, like one thing I was like, it's kind of sneaky in Ironclaw, but you keep forgetting. Oh yeah, there's no hit points. Anyone could die at any time and just dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
And
I
this was
came
just
in with the entire
typicals.
wrong expectations for this session. For some reason, I was like, 12 zombies will be fine. The, end of session before last. It's like, 12 zombies. Alright, today will be the political session. Oh, nope, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I'm glad. I'm sorry that it was another long combat session. But I definitely wanted to have the attack on the village from the, because zombies are scary. And
Baddies are combat gifts sometime.
yeah, right. So thank you for putting up with that. At this point, we'll probably next session will have a little more politics, since it seems like at least Adris is going to escort this guy Marcade to Triskellion and see
And
that
we'll
he
be
that
going
justice is
another
served.
direction and away from Triskellion authority.
Right. Well, yeah. So
Thing to keep in mind, Gar, as you've probably at least seen the evidence, it probably would strike you from last time that it mentions the Isle of Overic. So,
Mhm.
That's fun.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The thing
just
about the
something to
Holy
keep in mind
Court,
for next time.
I keep saying Holy Court. The thing about the High Court is that it's filled with nobles from all across Rinaldi thing. So it's not just me going up and saying, "Oh, this is this." It's a whole court of people.
Right. I just thought it would be interesting to mention to you again. It's like, maybe this involves you personally now.
Oh no, you don't have to keep pointing out. I'm probably not going to bring it up.
I know.
Oh, what's
Just a
this?
detailed thing.
The people from my island are guilty of something? Where did that evidence go?
Exactly. Alright then.
cool. Okay. So yeah, thank you guys for playing, and thanks everybody for watching. And we'll pick this up next week, right?
Yep.
Right.
See you next
Have
time,
a
everybody.
See ya.
See ya.